Welcome to the Select Board meeting for Tuesday, October 26th. As we always do, we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So why don't we skip over the first item and we'll get back to that. So Denise, are you expecting anybody else to come?
No, Jim's been called away, so he won't be
Okay.
with us tonight.
Well, come on up to the table so you're on microphone. Anybody who's coming up? Yep. Perfect. So the agenda item is Denise Landry, and it looks like the board, Executive Director of Walpole Housing Authority, vote to request appointment of James L. Delaney to the Walpole Housing Authority under Mass General Law, Chapter 121B, Section 5, to fill a state-appointed seat. Judy, it's all yours.
Thank you. With me tonight is Mike Teely, and he's a board member, and Denise is, Landry is our executive director.
Welcome.
Mr. Doyle, Joe Doyle, was not able to make it, as Peter Betro was not able to make it tonight. You got our packet, and you had just read the purpose of our meeting here tonight. The governor's board has had James Delaney's application and packet for months now, and that section that you just read gives us the relief of, and for you to appoint, Board of Selectmen to appoint the governor's appointee, so we will then have a full board. We've been with 4 members, and it would be nice to have 5. We have budget coming up in another month, and discussions need to take place, and it would be nice to have the full board. You have James' resume, and he's been here all his life, as has his family, and he did run on a sticker a couple of years ago because he was interested in seeking a seat. When the governor's appointee seat became vacant, he thought that he would step up and fill that seat. So it's kind of a, unless you have any questions, we endorsed him. We had a letter from the board. We endorsed him again at our last meeting, and I think he would be a good fit for the board and asset to the board with his town experience and so forth. So we just need to ask you to take over for the governor.
I think it's great that they actually allow us to do that now. So it was interesting you included the
Well, if
chapter and verse, so that was good.
Looking around the other communities around, there are many, many open governor-appointed seats.
Okay.
I guess the governor's board that makes those decisions kind of put the housing authorities at the bottom of the pile, so.
And they're probably
I
busy
think
with
we're
other
the first
things,
to
so.
actually ask the board to, our own board to make this decision for us, but it would be a big help.
Let me open it up for comments and questions. Jim?
No, none for me.
Ben?
None from me.
Glenn?
No, I appreciate you. Yeah, I want you to have a full board, and I appreciate you that you've taken the initiative to reach out and get a qualified candidate. Actually, I'll make a motion, if that's all right, Mr. Chairman.
Sure, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
I'll make a motion to appoint James Delaney to the Walpole Housing Authority under Mass General Law, Chapter 121B, Section 5, to fill the state appointee seat for a term expiring on August 6, 2026.
I'll second that. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Before you leave, could I ask that you give us a little bit of an update as to what's going on?
Denise is going to
Denise?
give a little
Perfect.
bit, but what I would ask you is, we'd like to come and kind of toot our horns, I guess, in January, if you have an open time at the
Sure.
end. Once we have Jimmy with us, we can have our full board discussions, and we'd like to come back in and give you a little more substance to what we've been, what we're
No, that'd be great.
what
We
we're gonna
should
do.
have you in periodically to talk about what's happening and, all that kind of stuff. So just reach out to Aoife when you
You can do that. Okay,
are
Denise is
ready
just
to
going to
do
give
that.
you a little project update. She's got all those numbers in her head.
Great.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Judy.
Thanks, Jay.
Welcome, Denise.
Thank you. I'm Denise Landry. I'm the Executive Director, Walpole Housing Authority. I'm responsible for the oversight of day-to-day operations within the authority. I have 3 administrative staff people who help me with that job, as well as a maintenance supervisor and 2 maintenance mechanics who help us to maintain 138 units of low-income housing here in Walpole. We also administer a federal and state voucher program. I report to the Board of Directors, chaired by Peter Betro, who couldn't be here tonight, and that's complemented by 3 other members, Joe Doyle, Mike Teely, and Judy Conway, elected positions. And as we just discussed, the 5th position is the state-appointed seat, which we hope to fill with Jim Delaney, which we just filled with Jim Delaney.
You did.
The Housing Authority's mission, which is to provide decent, safe, and sanitary affordable housing for individuals and families of low income. Tenants within our properties contribute to rent and utilities based solely on their ability to pay. Rent is determined as a factor of 30% of net adjusted monthly income, and the expected contribution to rent is 30% of that number. The authority's operations are sustained through rent revenue, and if these revenues are not sufficient to support the operations, then through subsidy from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts through the Department of Housing and Community Development. The capital needs of the housing authorities are also met through our operating reserves, as well as financial assistance that's furnished again through the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, filtered down from the Department of Housing and Community Development. 2021, we've been busy. We've completed the following capital projects this year. We repaved our driveways and walkways at Diamond Pond Terrace Senior Housing Development. We did the common hallways at our Neponset View Terrace development. We put new heating and hot water systems in Neponset View Terrace Senior Housing Development, and we did new decking at our Pemberton Street congregate site. We've also just started, initiated 2 projects, kicked off. We are doing 2 new ADA fully accessible units at our Neponset View Terrace development, and we're doing an accessible kitchen renovation at our Pemberton Street congregate house. And then moving forward in our capital plan, we're planning to phase and start the driveway and walkway renovations at Neponset View Terrace. So we've been very busy, and that's pretty much it for now.
Great. Let me just open it up for questions if anybody has any. Glenn?
Just a couple. I think what you do is amazing, and thank you for all your hard work. How many residents, I don't know if you said this or not in your remarks, but how many residents in Walpole do you currently have?
Well, we have, within our properties, we have 138 units.
Okay.
So we have 118 senior units and 12 family units. In addition to that, we administer 95 vouchers, so mobile vouchers.
That's great. And you must have a wait list?
Yes, we do.
And how, can you quantify the wait list?
The wait list is fairly large
Bet.
because the Commonwealth has moved to a central wait list system, which is the effort to make it easier for people who need housing to do what I would call one-stop shopping for their housing needs. So we're encouraging people to move to an online platform where they can go in and do a pre-application online, and they can select which housing authorities for which they want to be considered.
Okay. Must you be a Walpole resident to get on the wait list for
Absolutely
Walpole?
no.
You do not?
No, in our waiting list structure, however, there is a preferences allotted for residents of Walpole.
So if you're a resident of Walpole and you want to continue to live in Walpole and apply for your housing, you can make that request, and it won't be guaranteed, but it would certainly be
That's right.
attempted.
You would queue in on the waiting list, correct?
Okay, and just my last question, is there anything that you can think of that the select board or the town can do to help you alleviate some of that wait list? Is there a need for more housing? I don't know what role we could play in that, but
Oh,
what I'd ask.
goodness.
And if it's
There's
a longer,
always-
you can give me the short answer.
Yeah,
of
the
course,
short
but-
answer,
yeah.
there's always a need for affordable housing. And again, it cuts across all spectrums. Normally, the conversation centers around our seniors, and that's the bulk of my portfolio within the community. However, servicing families is critical, as well as our near elders. We're seeing a burgeoning, the 55-plus with housing needs.
Yeah, okay, I'll leave it at that for now.
Glenn? I'm sorry, Ben? Sorry.
I don't have any questions, Denise, but I really appreciate you coming in, so, yeah.
Jim?
Thanks for coming in, and I'm glad to hear that you're thinking about giving us more frequent updates. It's been a while since we've had a conversation like this, and it's an important conversation. So looking forward to that as we go forward, so thanks for coming in tonight. Okay.
Can I just
So-
have one thing?
Sure, and then I'll go. Go ahead.
I've known Denise for some time now. She's always been responsive if I've had some residents reach out, and, we try to help them however we can, and we've partnered on a couple things when the housing authority, it might be in some problems with snow and ice. We always partner up with them to help out however we can, so the town and the housing authority have a great relationship together.
Absolutely. Town's been great to us. They really have stepped up to the plate when we've needed assistance.
So I know way back in time, there were state or federal grants available to build more housing. And I know that there really hasn't been any of that, for 25 or 30 years. I did notice in the discussion that's happening in Washington that there may be money available. And maybe when you come back in January, that would be something that's very interesting to me. Because if there's grant money available to build some additional, that would be really something we would like to help get behind and help you with. Or anything else you think that's coming that could help the citizens of Walpole, that people want to live in the housing. So just please let us know what we can do.
I've made my wish list.
Good.
I'll bring it in January.
Okay, or shoot it to us as an email so we can think about it ahead of time.
Yeah, we'll catch it.
That would be great. Thanks again for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Yep. Okay, so next up, we'll do a show cause hearing for Maewa Inc., DBA Kahai Dynasty, 743 Main Street. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Please sit down and,
I'm not comfortable.
okay, that would be fine.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, to open the hearing for Maewa Inc., doing business as Kihai Dynasties at 743 Main Street for failure to provide the public with the services contemplated by the license.
Second?
So we have a motion, a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
So we've never had one of these before, or at least since I've been around. I know Aoife's been in contact with Lisa, who is running the Kihai. They've been trying for some time to figure out what to do after COVID. I know you might be looking for some people who might be interested in procuring the license. So the council, we've worked with council, worked with them. They've suggested we go this route, which is basically put them on notice for 6 months, see if there's anything that can be done. This is what the ABCCA encourages to do, to try to work with businesses to see if there's any way to find a way out of the situation that they're in. Did I miss anything, Aoife?
No, that's pretty much, yeah, so it's 6 months that they like the licensing authority to offer up to the license holder.
Great. And I would just say, we all understand that COVID has been really hard on, especially restaurants. And, we're glad that most of them have reopened, and we'd love to see you reopen, or if you decide to sell the business or the license, somebody else to reopen, because,
And
You know,
that
you-
is, excuse me, and that is exactly what we're trying to do. We've had a couple of prospective buyers, and it's just haven't quite worked out. We have an active listing, and the landlord is also actively looking for tenants as well. So we'll keep our fingers crossed, and thank you for putting in the 6 months extension for the liquor license, and hopefully we'll have good news coming up.
let me open it up and see if anybody has any questions.
No, I wish you the best of luck in having success over the next 6 months, though.
Thank you.
Ben?
Yeah, likewise.
Thank you.
Jim?
Just, yes, I mean, likewise, would obviously like to have your business or another business in there. Is there anything that we could be doing to help you in your search for somebody to come in, and anything that we could be doing or should be doing?
At this point, maybe just a word of mouth saying that there is a spot open, available for lease. So like I said, the landlord is, on top of it, as well as an agent and a listing. Right now, one of the main challenges to turn off is the construction on Route 1. So, we'll see where that goes. Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Good luck.
thank you.
Want to make another motion?
Make a motion to continue the hearing until April 26, 2022, at 7:05 PM.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Sure. Thanks for coming in. Okay, next up, vote request of Healthy Mindset Nutrition for common vitulers license to operate at 947 Main Street. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Just
I'm
introduce
trying not
yourself.
to be
We
nervous
are on
right now.
camera, so
Yeah, okay.
people at home may want to.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, do you want me to take this off?
No, you can leave that on. No, that's okay.
Okay. Israel LeBron.
Great, welcome.
Thank you.
You want to just, I mean, we've read the application information that Aoife has given us.
Okay.
Anything you want to tell us about the business?
So I'm opening up a Herbalife-based meal replacement shakes and energizing teas. That's kind of what I'll be selling out of the shop. So it's kind of to try to bring the community together and offer better health, I guess, options, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense, but.
No, it's, as we were just talking about, we love to see, I hate to see empty storefronts. We love to see active and thriving businesses, so,
Yeah, there's
you
a
know-
bunch of these opening up everywhere. They're all over Rhode Island. They're starting to creep this way, so I wanted to try to see if I can get in the business before it gets busy, so.
okay. Let me see if anybody has any questions.
No questions.
Ben?
No.
Jim?
Since you've got an opportunity, do you want to talk a little bit about the menu itself? You provided that to us, and, maybe just let people know what you're going to be serving there, and
So it's kind of hard to explain, but it's kind of creating my own shakes using Herbalife products. So I'll add, there's different, there's a ton of, that's a portion of the menu.
okay.
There's like 190 different flavors that I can come up with. So people will come in, they can tell me their favorite ice cream, and I can make a shake that tastes just like their ice cream. And they can have it daily they'll replace a meal with it daily, and it's for, better nutrition, so.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Very
it's-
interesting.
It's a complete different,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, good luck.
Yeah, I lost 46 pounds in 7 months using
Good.
this, just replacing and better eating habits, so.
When are you hoping to open?
Within weeks, I'm hoping.
Okay.
I've been renting that place since January, so it's been a long road. So,
Great.
Yeah.
Aoife, any other issues from your point of view?
Everything has been great to work with, everything's covered.
Okay, great. Want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the request of Healthy Mindset Nutrition for a common victualler license to operate at 947 Main Street.
Second?
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Let us know if we can help with
See you guys
anything.
soon somewhere.
Okay.
somewhere.
We'll come by once you're open.
We will.
It's not 7:30, so we'll hold off on open forum. Discussion vote to sign a letter to Mass Housing regarding the proposed 40B project, Neponset Village located at 5 Pleasant Street. Jim, you want to start that off? Or Patrick, are you going to speak to us? Come on up, Patrick. You walked back in at the right moment.
Realized I had sorry, Pat DeShane's, Community and Economic Development Director. I do have an ortho, just kind of orient everybody if we know what the project site is.
I'm okay.
We're all good?
Yeah.
Yep, so what came forward was a project eligibility request from Mass Housing on a potential 40B project on 5 Pleasant Street. The site is situated by the town border across from Bird Cemetery. And so we, myself, as well as department heads, conducted a site visit back in September with representatives from Mass Housing. And over the past month or so, we accumulated a few comments regarding their proposal. And now I'm here to answer any questions. I know I was able to send some comments from town engineering as well as the fire department, and a draft letter from myself on a few of the more noticeable questions with the project proposed, so.
I thought that the draft letter looked good, so let me go around the room. And Glenn?
Just, I do have a couple comments, but just a question first. And this, me asking the question doesn't mean that I think we should do this. I'm just asking, I know we've invoked safe harbor, which we currently have for 2 years on a recent project. Is this another project that we could potentially invoke safe? When I say we, the zoning board of appeals could invoke safe harbor on this project?
Yeah, so right now at this stage, anyone is eligible to go to Mass Housing or whatever subsidizing agency to request a project eligibility letter. Invoking safe harbor would come into play once a project files for a comprehensive permit. Then they've begun the local regulatory stage where the zoning boards, saw fit, they could invoke safe harbor for the project.
Yeah.
So this one is a little bit early. They can be deemed project eligible at any time, even if a town is in safe harbor, period. It just only kicks in if they were to apply for a comprehensive permit during that safe harbor period.
I got it, and I understand. So I do want to say that the letter, I support the town's position that we've taken in this letter. There's some concerns that we've highlighted, and I think it's good that they address these concerns as the project moves forward. In our letter, we also point out that there is potential benefit for a project like this to support our ongoing efforts to encourage the creation of affordable housing in Walpole. And we have a housing production plan that says that we should continue to do that, even though we're in safe harbor. So I support all that. We've said that in our letter. There is something in our letter that was sort of in the last paragraph, and so I want to highlight it because I think it was a really good point. And it came last. It doesn't mean it's the least important thing. In fact, I think it was a really good comment. So I'm going to just read from the letter itself, just to highlight it. In the letter, it states that while the majority of Walpole households are homeowners, the town's housing production plan identifies a much stronger need for rental housing of all kinds, particularly households with 3-bedroom units and units that are available to households earning at or below 30 to 50% AMI. The housing that is being proposed with the potential application does not appear to meet high priority local needs. And so my comment is that I believe this is a shortcoming in the Neponset Village application, but I also believe that it could be overcome with a revised proposal that, for example, offered larger units and also a significant rental component. And I believe that would address our high priority local needs. So I want to make the comment that was in the letter that we're sending to the state, and I just want to emphasize that point. So I'll leave it at that.
Thanks.
If I could speak on that too. So
Yeah.
that comment, it's been kind of relevant for a few different projects that have come forward, especially those that do include a home ownership component where it is, they go for 80% AMI or 25% of those affordable units at 80% AMI. That additional need of that 30 to 50%, that is one area that has not been looked at within the town, and that is something that is kind of that area that's almost like a blind spot where a developer comes in, they get the minimum, so to speak. They have 25% at 25% of the affordable units at 80% AMI. So that was reason for adding that point again, is just, we have another project, it's home ownership, it's just at 80%. There is a segment of the population that could benefit from an increased affordable component. So
I agree.
wanna highlight that.
Ben, any comments or questions?
No, I mean, I think it's a very, very thorough review. For better or worse, we've gotten very good at writing these letters over the past couple of years, and certainly appreciate the work that you put into it, Pat, and helping to put these together. And I would just echo what Glenn has said and what the letter itself says, as far as meeting the well-established local needs. And, we have a housing production plan, and we have all these documents that clearly set out what we're trying to do. So I'm glad that that's included here as well. So thanks for all your work on this.
Jim?
Yeah, I'll just ditto Glenn and Ben for their comments, so I won't repeat those, but agree wholeheartedly with both of you. One comment I would make is that it seems as though that some of the things you were calling out were what I'd call housekeeping items. And I think we see this a lot in these 40B applications, where the information that we receive is incomplete. And it seems to be a theme, and I'm wondering if there's something we ought to be giving back to the state to say, look, before you send us one of these letters, it would really be terrific if you'd make sure that all the things that are supposed to be accounted for have been accounted for. Otherwise, you spend your time on that. Now we're chasing it back the other way, and who knows what we'll get. And it just seems as though the state should be the one that's accountable for getting all the information to us so that we can react, in a more efficient way.
No, absolutely. I mean, this application was a little bit more put together than a few of the other ones we saw in the past.
Yeah.
There were still a few.
Yeah, there were.
Spots that were missing, so
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, good. Well written, great response. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that for people watching at home, we have the South Walpole project that's going on with 300 units, kind of too large for that location, going to have a huge impact. We as a board are going to be taking a look at the Gilmore's project, which I think is cited in a much better way Again, I don't know if the number of units is quite right, but downtown, near the train station, near the bus lines, near the restaurants, that's a great site. So I think it's important, that we continue to work for and seek out the right 40B projects in the right locations, because we have specific needs that we need to meet over time, whether that be ownership or rental. I think we want to keep doing that. I know we're in safe harbor through April of 2023, so about 18 months more. So just want to encourage people, bring some good projects into Walpole, and, I think that would be a great thing for townspeople.
Yeah,
Ben?
if I could, Mark, I just want to expand a little bit or piggyback on what Jim O'Neill just said as far as, and I don't want to make extra work, Patrick, that's not usable, but if there is a separate letter that we could put together, and I leave it up to you and Jim Johnson, to Michael Busby of Mass Housing, outlining some of the concerns that Jim has, or maybe the concerns that you have. I've said it before in these meetings and in other meetings, effectively municipalities are subsidizing the state's 40B process, right? We have you, who is a very talented expert in housing and in development and in planning, right? We hire you to be a planner for your expertise, not to shuffle paper for Mass Housing. It's part of the process where we have to take part in it because it's the state law, and obviously we need affordable housing, so we take part in it and we're proactive. But there's a lot better use of your time and Jim Johnson's time and all of our times than cleaning up these applications. So, to the extent that would be beneficial, you'd like to do that, certainly, as Jim said, and we've all said, we would support that. So just keep that in the back of your mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, thanks.
Any other comments, Jim? Jim Johnson? No. Glenn, you want to make a motion?
I will make a motion to authorize the chair to sign the letter to Mass Housing regarding the proposed 40B project at Neponset Village located at 5 Pleasant Street.
Second?
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Patrick.
No problem. Thank you.
Thanks, Pat.
With the time being 7:30, I'm going to see if anybody wants to speak at open forum. Seeing no one interested, we will continue to move on. Next item up is vote to approve the MSBA middle school project scope and budget agreement and authorize the town administrator to sign on the board's behalf. Jim?
So this is something that the owner's project manager, Brian Jarvis, gave to me a week or two ago. It's pretty standard with the MSBA. Basically, in anticipation of the vote next week, they're asking us to move forward with this scope and budget agreement, authorize the TA to sign. Council's vetted it or reviewed it, and obviously, depending on how it goes next week, we will or will not proceed with it. But Brian's asked to kind of get a head start on all this, and obviously, it doesn't bind us if certain things don't happen next week, so.
Sure.
I'm comfortable with it.
Anybody have any questions or comments? Nope, looks good.
No? I'll
Make a motion?
Make a motion to approve the MSBA middle school project scope and budget agreement and authorize the town administrator to sign on the board's behalf.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Great. Next is the vote to accept the resignation of William Buckley Jr. from the Recreation Committee. Bill has been involved in lots of different committees, putting in a lot of time, and he's decided to step back just a tiny bit and step off the Recreation Committee. And I'd like to personally thank him for all the time that he's putting. He's done a great job in all his different aspects on Walpole committees, so.
We'll continue to benefit from Mr. Buckley in other ways.
Yes, we will, yep.
A vote to accept, make a motion to accept the resignation of William Buckley Jr. from the Recreation Committee effective immediately.
Second with regrets.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Vote to approve the 2022 Select Board meeting schedule. Does anybody have any comments? Is there any meeting that we should adjust? We can also adjust them in real time as we go, but it's good to have the schedule in advance and be able to put it in our day timers or electronic calendars. Make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the 2022 Select Board meeting schedule.
Second?
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to accept with gratitude the following donation from Carl West to the Council on Aging Gifts for $75.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Town Administrator's update.
Sure, just a few items today. Obviously, we had town meeting over the weekend. It was a success. I think a lot of people really enjoy meeting on the high school football field. Saturday is kind of a great day to get it all done in one day. It goes by pretty fast. Dan does a great job running it. Liz does a great job getting everything together prior to it. Don Anderson, Rick Mattson, Drew Hand, Justin Monta, Jimmy Thomas, and Parks, all those guys, DPW did a great job setting it up. The school department was great to partner. They had people out there helping out, the chairs and everything, and just a group effort on everyone's behalf. So I think it went really well, and a lot of things got done at this past town meeting. So work session, just a reminder, November, we have tentative meetings on the 9th, the 16th, which is a working meeting, and the 23rd, which is our regular meeting. On the 16th, we're set to go over the ARPA funds and meet with the police and fire chiefs to talk about their FY23 budgets and basically the departments where they stand now. Town election, Liz is set to go with the election. We've been having early voting here in Town Hall this week. Polls will be open on Saturday next Tuesday from 8 to 8. Early voting is this week on Wednesday and Thursday from 9 to 3, and Friday from 9 to 11. And that's it for me. Does anybody have any questions?
Nope.
Thank you.
I would agree with what you said about town meeting running smoothly. It was one of those things that I walked in, I signed in, and I went and found a place to sit and had a chance to chat with some people, and everything was very organized, and as soon as the meeting was over, they were starting to break down right away, which is great to see that they were totally on top of their game, and having nice weather was really good too, so.
Beautiful.
That's the key. I know another town was supposed to have their outdoor town meeting tonight, and so they had to cancel, so.
Yeah.
I'd entertain a motion to dissolve or
So moved.
adjourn.
So moved.
Motion is second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.